Welcome to the Thundercloud. We have the most iconic trade ever made in all of fantasy sports that was made last night, somewhere around 2 to 3 o'clock in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. And it was one for the Guinness books. Just going to read the comments here before we get started. I have to clarify one thing in case I misspoke about Trey Smith shortly. But I'm just going to read the comments real quick. So change your title immediately. A dishonored Pete's photo with the trade? I did not. Pete's not rolling in his grave. And if he is, he's rolling with joy, not with disgust. Saying that my mother was strong-armed on her birthday officially. So, I don't know about strong-armed. I mean, if you mean by strong-armed, you mean I made a formidable offer, then yeah, you're right. I made the biggest offer of anyone. None of you cowards could come close to that fucking offer, and deep down inside, you all fucking know it. So, with all due respect, Sage, our lone poster so far, fuck you, go fuck yourself, go pound sand, with all due respect. He thinks that I drugged the mother. Well, there's a chance that there was marijuana here, and there's a chance that marijuana was smoked and or eaten. So you're not necessarily out of line there, my friend, but there's no way of proving it now. The drugs are already out of her system, so we're going to get to that in a second. But just in case I fucked up on Trey Smith's contract, it is a 4-year, $94 million contract extension, so he's the highest paid guard in NFL history. He's not great, so he was like a 7 to 10 for like guard rankings per PFF and other sites and stuff. So that's just what happens, though. When you're in the top 10, you're always going to reset the market. So not a bad signing, but it just tells you that like a guy like I already said last night, Rasheed Walker and Sean Ryan are going to get paid, this is good for us. They're going to get paid by other teams. We're going to get 2 compensatory picks for them. So cannot wait for those guys to hit free agency. And then we still have, you know what I mean, Jordan Morgan and Anthony Belton, you know, that are going to be able to step up the year after with a bit more experience. So can't wait for it. It's going to be crazy to see what Zach Tom of the Green Bay Packers is going to get paid. I expect a $30 million per year contract, so he'll probably reset the tackle market as he should, because he's really fucking good. And I mean really fucking good. Probably the top 2 right tackles in the game. Could play probably anywhere if you fucking wanted him to, though, honestly. So there you go. That's the NFL clarification, in case I accidentally reported his stuff as something different, his contract details. We did have Ricky Tiderman, who's coming off of elbow surgery last year, throw 2/3 of an inning in a Florida complex league Tuesday, which I believe would be yesterday, or technically the day before yesterday. So the 22-year-old prospect probably has a good shot now to pitch, AA and or AAA by the end of 2025. So that's all I want to see. Build it up. Maybe work in some Arizona Fall League shit and find your sorry ass potentially competing for a roster spot next year. So hopefully he's going to come back. He was formerly one of the top prospects in baseball and certainly the top prospect of the Toronto Blue Jays. That's really all we have in the world of sports, except for one thing. I'm going to rant a little bit. But before I rant, I'm going to take a look here at the messages. Sage is saying, you're lucky it was respectfully. I would have reversed the trade if it was disrespectful. Thank you. I appreciate the sentiment. Sage has a baseball inquiry or inquiry, depending on how you like to sound. Sage, let's hear it. This is a mailbox right here. We'll call this an email box here. Minus the snail mail part. It's a safe place here. If anyone else has questions too, you can ask them. Zhao, nameless, is trying to do things behind the scenes. Yeah, okay, I'll tell you his offer. Okay. How come pitchers are getting yanked before 6 innings pitched, even if they're dealing? Well, it kind of comes with the fact that bullpens have evolved over the last 20 years. So 20 years ago, you would not see this happen at all. So you've got guys in the bullpen that can throw like just extremely hard. So everyone throws like fresh, let's just say for a shitty pitcher, they're throwing 95. For a good pitcher, they're throwing over 100 from the bullpen. It's a bit annoying though because normally the more you go into the game, so like the first time through the lineup, theoretically the starting pitcher does the best, right? Second time through takes a bit of a regression. Third and fourth time through the lineup, it's definitely statistically kind of proven that there's a bit of a downside there. Now, sometimes what I think managers fail to realize is, okay, when a guy is in a zone, you probably should go with the momentum. Like, you got to go for feel, I think, a little bit more. But it is annoying. It's just bullpen specialization. Because really, you don't see complete games anymore. Like, Roy Halladay probably has more complete games than the entire American League this year. It's fucked up to say, but it's probably the truth. How many complete games do you ever see this year? Like, let's just go to Google. So we'll do a quick Google search. How many complete games have been thrown in 2025? So here's a stat right here. So, and I don't know if I trust the source or not, but it's an AI overview. In 2025, there have been 23 complete games pitched in Major League Baseball. This information is based on the latest statistics available for the 2025 season. So according to this source, we've got 23. So Roy Halladay, I believe, based on memory, used to throw 9, often 9 per year. So let's just kind of take a look at that there. So Roy Halladay, for complete games in his career, had 67. He threw 9 complete games in a season. 1, 2, 3, 4 times. So 4 times he threw 9. And that was a very good guess, honestly. In 2024, there were 28 complete games. So, yeah, it's just a way different league, honestly. It's a way different league. And do I think it necessarily affects their stats? Not really, because if you kind of look at like what Halladay and other pitchers did against better hitters, let's not kid ourselves, between 1985 and 2005, and even 2010 for that matter, because there were still steroids in the game a little bit. Pitchers were up against better competition, and Doc Halladay had a 3.38 ERA. You had other guys that were right there with him, if not better. It's something that I think needs to change, and the only way you're going to change it is if you change what the pitchers throw. So the pitchers need to throw less sliders. Everyone's throwing these hard fastballs and these sliders. Roy Halladay never threw a slider. In my opinion, he threw a cutter, he threw a two-seamer, he threw a curveball, had a changeup. He threw pitches that weren't putting torque on the arm. But you have everyone nowadays learning these sliders, and that's why everyone in baseball is going to blow their arm out 1 to 3 times in their career. Let me take a look here. So we've got Merrill Kelly had 1 hit, 1 earned run, 4 walks in 5 innings and got pulled. Found it weird. The amount of pitches they let him go is a lot different too. Like, if you were rolling back in the day, you'd get 120 to 140 pitches. Nolan Ryan, I believe, threw 300 pitches in a game before. Now, this is going way back. I'll have to go to Google for this. See if we can get this one here. It's like 280 or something like that, I believe. I overshot it a little bit. He threw, according to AI again, 235 pitches in a game in June 1974 against the Boston Red Sox. He had 19 strikeouts over 13 innings. Good luck seeing that again. Now, he did blow his arm out, and he did blow his arm out against the Jays in 1993, I believe. And he was still throwing 98 miles per hour when he was like a fucking 43-year-old or whatever the fuck he was back then. Fucking monster. Pitched 27 fucking years in the league. That guy could reach back and throw fucking gas, I'll tell you that. Let me just see here. We'll get into a debate as to which the bigger blockbuster was, but we're going to get to my blockbuster shortly. I think they are. It's not just the managers trying to avoid injuries. They are trying to avoid injuries. They've got bullpen specialists. Plus, I don't think pitchers are necessarily training the same way. I don't think they're going out and practicing throwing fucking 150 pitches per day. I think we've got this load management shit in all sorts of sports, right? So I think that's pretty common too. It's just they're not building up to it. But I think as long as you throw a slider, you're not going to be like a horse. You can be a horse in this day and age, but like everyone that throws one of those, it's too hard on the arm. You're getting Tommy John. You're tearing your fucking labrum. There's, even if you're not throwing, you're probably going to throw your arm out, but just throwing too fucking hard. Sometimes too, they're throwing so hard that just take a bit off your pitch. You don't have to throw fucking 100 miles an hour. You can fucking throw 93 mile an hour fastballs and get away with it if you know how to command it. Look at fucking Greg Maddux. Although Greg could hit, 95? Kind of crazy though, Mizorowski is throwing fucking 95 mile an hour fucking change-ups. We've got Nameless saying, here's the issue. You don't throw 95 miles per hour, you're probably not getting drafted. Agreed. You do need to stand off the paper. So yeah, you're not going to see anyone coming in and throwing. Maybe a lefty. You might see a lefty that's like sneaky 92, 93 that can maybe beef it up to 95 here and there. That makes the major leagues, I think. But as a right-handed one, no. You're probably right. You're not making the. I mean, you might get drafted, but you're not getting drafted early in the rounds. You're probably like, I don't know, fucking 50th round pick or whatever it goes to. You know what I mean? But yeah, I think there's a lot of things to it. It sucks though. It does suck because there's no reason why as athletes get better, they have to do less in a way. Now I know they're exerting themselves more too, but. Greg Maddux didn't have a limited arsenal. He had pretty good pitches, and he had location like no one else I've ever seen in my life. And he knew how to manipulate an umpire, so he could throw that two-seamer where he wanted to, or his changeup or whatever, and it'd be off the plate. He'd get the call, and then he'd throw it there again, and then he'd slowly keep moving off, and the umpire would still keep fucking calling them strikes too. I guess AI is going to get him. I believe he did have multiple pitches. He could rear back and throw a fastball. Let's not kid ourselves. Greg Maddux could throw the fastball pretty damn good. He wasn't John Smoltz throwing 97, 98, 99 or whatever, but he had a bigger repertoire than John Smoltz. John Smoltz was a fastball splitter guy mostly. I'm sure he had 3 other pitches, but I think he was mostly fastball splitter based on what I remember. And I remember he blew his arm out and they had to put him in the bullpen for a year. Then they had that other pitcher there, left-handed guy, Tom Glavine was one of their pitchers. They also had, the name is eluding me right now. Ooh, who was that? They had like the best rotation in the league, honestly. Okay, John Smoltz is. No, there was another pitcher, nameless. There's another one. Maybe it was later. Maybe it was around 2000. Or it was either 1996, somewhere between 96 and 2003. Greg Maddux once threw a 78 pitch complete game. I know Roy Halladay and Mark Burley came close to doing that before too. Not quite 78, but they definitely did it with like 90 or so. which is still pretty damn good when you think about efficiency, for sure. Sage, did we answer your question to the best of our ability? It's a good question, actually. That took way more time than we were expecting, taking me down Atlanta Braves Avenue. And John Smoltz is not a pussy with a grudge. Shut your fucking mouth. You're quite welcome, Sage. Anytime. Now, while I am bringing up some big news that happened last night, I'd like to tell y'all to hit the fucking like button. I swear to God, if I have to fucking tell you guys this every fucking time, I'll fucking ban you from the fucking channel. Because if you're not going to add to my chat rate, you can get the fuck out of here. And that's all I got to say. So last night in the wee mornings after the All-Star game... Oh, fuck, I forgot to cover this. Ah, for fuck's sakes. 1 second, we're not going to that yet. I've got a bit of a rant I need to uncoil here a bit. So, this to me is what I think is a travesty in basketball. And that's, you have really good fucking players that just get released. And then they get picked up by teams, usually West Coast teams or very good teams, right? And it's actually a fucking crapshoot. So Bradley Beal today was released, 31 years old, by the Phoenix Suns. So some sort of buyout happens, whatever. They still got to pay like pretty much all his contract or whatever, right? So he then signs with the Los Angeles Clippers because, everyone wants to go West Coast, right? So you're talking about a guy who averaged 17 points per game last year, shot 38.6 from three, 376 for his career. I mean, he's a good shooter. Yeah, he took a step back in Phoenix, but that's because they had so many stars. He averages 21.5 points per game, and all the Clippers had to do is pay him $11 million. So I think that's bullshit. We see it every year at the trade deadline too, where all these guys get released and then they sign to contenders. You don't see that in hockey. You don't see that in football. You don't see that in baseball, where guys that are actually really good get released and then sign fucking vet minimum deals to sign with fucking teams that are competitive. It's something that needs to go away, but I'm not David Stern or whatever that guy's name is, Adam Silver. So I'm not gonna take a walk down that plank right now. I just think it's stupid. Good on the Clippers for doing absolutely nothing, but it's just fucking dumb. That's all I can really say. So good on you. You got a player who is good, and you didn't have to do anything to get it other than your location was nice. Let's see what Nameless has to say here. David Stearns, I believe, is the Mets GM. David Stern is dead. David Stern is dead because I killed him. No, I didn't kill him. Please don't look at me. He died of old age. I think he was like 86. I hope he's not fucking the Mets GM, because if they got Mets GM, if there's a dead man as the Mets GM, that's probably frowned upon in some cultures, I would assume. Anyways, all that news sucks. We're gonna get to the big tuna here. The biggest trade ever made in all of fantasy sports took place last night, and go figure, it featured two Rhodenizers at the dish, the Mama Bear, and of course yours truly. So let's just go over the trade. So this one is a doozy. It was a 10 player trade. It included Jack Flaherty, Eugenio Suarez, Hunter Brown, Nick Kurtz, and Mike Trout being sent back for Jorge Soler, Seth Halverson, Nathaniel Lowe, Ernie Clement, and of course, last but not least, Aaron Judge. I would like to hear the reactions on the trade. So, A, who won the trade? Because I will tell you, all 4 of those players that I got that weren't Aaron Judge are getting dropped. In fact, one was already dropped for Noelvi Marte, third baseman from Cincy, taking a shot at a 23-year-old. So that's the first question. The second question is, would have you guys paid as much? I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear it. Oh, David Steams. I read that wrong. David Steams is very much alive. Well, that's good to know. Good for him. I don't want to hear about Christian Yelich ever again. Christian Yelich is in the same spot, the same cubicle as Corbin Carroll. Like, I actually puked last night, 30, 40 minutes. It wasn't because of the booze. I puked for 40 minutes last night after Corbin Carroll hit that home run. And I was like, how can I get this memory out of my brain? I was like, you know what? I'm going to trade for a thumper. I'm going to trade for a thumper who's got 1,200 OPS. I'm going to trade for a guy to piss off Nameless, and I'm going to get my guy. So let's actually just quickly go over the trade real quick here. So starting with Aaron Judge, we'll just quickly look at his stats. This year, 7.1 WAR, a sparkling 1194 OPS, a slugging over 730, and an on-base over 460 with 35 home runs and 81 RBIs, as well as 85 runs scored. Now, I'm not going to go over Ernie Clement and those other guys. Those other guys were the guys I got, like Seth Halverson's over a 5 ERA. He is not part of my bullpen plans. I've already got 8 arms in my bullpen. Don't need Seth Halverson. In fact, I already dropped his sorry ass. Nathan Lowe, I mean, potentially good, but more of a doubles hitter this year. He is actually a first baseman hitting less than 700 OPS slightly. And Ernie Clement, better in real life than he is in fantasy, hitting, I think he's around 720 OPS. So I think he's closer to 720. He does field 4 positions, which is nice. But let's just look up what I had to get rid of in order to get this trade done. And I do promise you it was a lot. It was a fucking shit ton. But I made sure, because I knew Dan would say, whoa, oh, we need to veto it. Steven, rip mom off. So I had to make sure it was a firm offer. Dan says, I think this trade makes her team better, and better hope Judge don't get no back injury. Well, certainly that is a true statement. So the first part of the trade has a .6 WAR, Jack Flaherty. Now, the ERA this year is high. He was a throw-in. He does have a 4.65 ERA, 124 strikeouts in 100 innings pitched. So that improves her pitching. In his career, he's got a 3.74 ERA. As well, last year he played for 2 teams and had a 3.17 ERA. So there's upside there. That's a very good upside. She needed pitching. That's one pitcher that she did get. The other pitcher was Hunter Brown. And Hunter Brown is, if he's not the favorite for Cy Young, he's one of the top 3, I would say, for sure. So this guy's got a 2.43 ERA, 3.6 WAR, 137 strikeouts in 115 innings. I mean, his whip is under 1. It's at 0.957. So I'd say that's a pretty good guy to add to your roster, no? And then we're going to get into 3 players. So let's start with Nick Kurtz. Now, yeah, I just added him via free agency, but that doesn't mean he's not a very good player. In fact, 2 of the players in here were added via free agency. So Nick Kurtz, 1.4 WAR. He's got an 892 OPS, 17 home runs. That's a pretty good ball player right there, at least from an offensive standpoint. Now, is she going to have to figure out when to use them? Absolutely, but it's better than who she had slotted in. Another free agent addition that I had this year was Eugenio Suarez, who, thank God, isn't injured, because gave me quite the scare yesterday when this fucking Shane Smith fucking threw at this son of a bitch. Now, Eugenio Suarez, 2.9 WAR, 31 home runs, 889 OPS, 794 in his career. Does not hit for great average, so 249 career batting average. Still in line with that this year with the 250. So you're talking about 31 dingers there. So that is replacing some of the power that was lost, as well as Kurtz. That's another good little player there to help with the power. Then we've got finally Mike Trout. I mean, Mike Trout could very well get injured too. We do know that. I really like what I did in terms of kind of getting rid of him. Yeah, he's also got power. He missed some time this year. 17 home runs. I mean, that's not easy to come by. He has gotten hot. He's had an 836 OPS clip. Average is only 238 this year, which is weird to see from him. But I guess the last couple of years, his average has regressed to places he's never really seen before. So I think overall it's a trade that made sense for both sides. There's not much out there in terms of replacing players. So the only guy I could find that I really liked potentially, and I don't even know if I like him, was Noelvi Marte of Cincinnati. I think they do have a good farm system right now. I mean, he's at .9 WAR, 884 OPS, but he's only done it at 95 at bats. So we'll see if there's something there. I have no sweet fucking idea. I just know I sometimes look at the age of a player, and if they're in that 23, 24, 25 age bracket, I do tend to want to take a chance on them. More so on offense than pitching, because they don't limit the innings quite as much. So let's take a look at the comments here. We've got, I'd like to announce that Joe Adell, Jackson Chourio, Tyler Soderstrom, and Lawrence Butler are all on the trade block looking for a reliever or a third baseman. You're really desperate to get rid of Soderstrom. I'd say a little too desperate to get rid of Soddy. I believe that Lawrence Butler will be cut soon, as per inside sources. Joe Adell, you're just looking to sell him high after his 19 home runs in the first half. Jackson Chourio, I thought, was a guy you were in love with. It's a little surprise there. I'd also like to make an announcement that Aaron Judge is on the trade block. If you can pay more than I paid, Aaron Judge is yours. There's nothing wrong with free agents. Paul Skeens was picked up as a free agent last year by me, and he turned out pretty damn good. Eugenio Suarez was picked up as a free agent. Some of our best picks, Pete Crow Armstrong by Katrina was picked up this year. Your best picks sometimes are the ones you take in free agency. I would say that's an easy assessment. You definitely get the Paul Skeens of the season. I'd be willing to trade for either Paul Skeens, Jacob Mizorowski, or both. Be very interested in that. Zal, you have Ohtani. So I'll give you Judge for Ohtani and someone else. Let's make this trade happen. And no, I am not. I consider Judge as the number one right now because Ohtani's barely going to pitch. So, if you want him, come get him. You can have Aaron Judge very quick. Oh, I'm sorry. Am I supposed to make your team stronger? We've got Dan saying, I'll give you Juan Soto and someone else for Ohtani. Well, I guess a lot of that would depend on the someone else. You guys can bicker about trade stuff in the background there. I believe Dan is off tomorrow, so I will play a game. I don't know if we can do Age of Empires tomorrow. That might be more of a game to do on a... Let me think of a good day here. Saturday would be a good day maybe for an Age of Empires run if we can make that work. But yeah, for tomorrow I'll have to figure something out. I don't know. I'll do maybe Red Dead Redemption, but I want to switch Red Dead Redemption up with like one or two other games. Not named Punk Strong. If I promise to do Age of Empires, will you hit the like button right now? Because if you do that, that's like legally binding that I have to play it soon. If you do that, and you find a way to give me Otani. Alright, Nameless, will you be joining via the mic? If we do Age of Empires, are we going to do it via the mic and talk shit or what? You could be the first special guest of the Thundercloud. It's lonely up here in the Thundercloud all by yourself. Alright, the voice remains silent, so we will not have our first guest on the Thundercloud, despite the moaning of how silent it gets here and how lonely it gets up in the Thundercloud. But that's okay. I mean, that's true. That's true. I understand. Not everyone's cut out for it. That's why you need to leave it to the professionals like me. Now, I will promote it. If we do one-on-one, we'll take bets, because that's what we do here in the Pete Rose Foundation, is we take bets as to who is going to win. I could probably... I'll see what I can do. Because if we do that, it might be a walkthrough for like Sage and Alejandro. But if Dan does, he's already acclimated a little bit to the game, so it wouldn't be a bad idea. It's certainly not going to be Nathan joining us. It's his bedtime at 8 o'clock usually, so we won't see Nathan here at the after hours stream. You know what I mean? Alright, we'll get that set up, and I will kick your fucking ass. I can beat 3 vs 1 if I've got 4 computers on my team. I didn't stipulate. I said 1 human versus 3 or 4. I think I could beat 2 of you. 3 of you would be very hard. 3 of you would be extremely hard. But, you know, if I've got Aaron Judge in my corner, I've got a shot. And, I'll accept the challenge. I will graciously accept that challenge. I might find a way to handicap it a little bit in my favor somewhat. Like maybe all the resources are on my side and not your side, but we'll figure it out. It'll be. I got ring rust too. I haven't played Age of Empires in quite a while, and all I gotta say is Age of Empires 4 is a disappointment. For those of you listening out there, do not play it whatsoever. Don't even think of buying it, even if it's on sale. Just stick with the tried, trusted, and true. The Chevrolet Age of Empires 2. Alright, that's going to do it for tonight. We'll be back at it tomorrow. Everyone, I won that trade. I ripped Mother off so damn good on her birthday, and it feels fucking good. It feels fucking good. Age of Empires... Oh, before we go, Age of Empires 3 is dying, right? They canceled a DLC for it earlier this year. I do not like hearing that, even though I think the gameplay for Age of Empires 2 is better. Age of Empires 3 is that perfect change-up. And I think it's got nicer graphics as well. Like, I do like the art style more. This has some classic shit to it, like, playing in the Sonora Desert and that sort of thing. But, I don't like hearing that now. Like, why would you spoil my night? Right when I'm about to go and, command and conquer Balatro, are you going to lay that fucking shit on me? Just fucking lay off. Keep it for the start of the streams, not the end of the streams, okay? Alright, guys, 75th stream is in. We are out. The GOAT is out. Have a good night, everyone. I did. Well, I'm sorry. I've got good taste. Have a good night, fuckers.